Hey guys, how's it going? Today we're going to be reviewing the Raw from July 21st, 2014. I just finished watching it. It was a great show. We're coming off of Battleground 2014, of course. I'm going to be trying to review Raw every week from now on. Hopefully this will become a regular thing for me. I might even try to do SmackDown, NXT, and Impact if I watch those shows. If I do, I'll sure and try and make these videos, but I'll put them out as fast as I can. But I just finished watching Raw, so I'm gonna try and make this a regular thing. So yeah, I thought this was a very good Raw, very enjoyable. I sat through the whole thing. I didn't feel the need to go on YouTube or go listen to a podcast or something. I sat down and I enjoyed the show from beginning to end. And really, if you look at this show as a whole, there wasn't a whole lot that didn't belong on here. I would argue with you that there are probably only about two segments that really weren't really all that important, and that would be Zack Ryder versus Fandango, and probably Flo Rida singing. But then again, that did have a purpose, since it did bring in viewership. But other than that, Raw was amazing, and I really enjoyed it from top to bottom. Now, of course, we started off the show with Triple H announcing that he would be announcing who John Cena would face at SummerSlam, and that's someone that had the night off, I guess. John Cena did not appear on Raw tonight. I was actually expecting him to be in the ring in the last segment to get F5 by Brock Lesnar, but apparently he didn't show up for this Raw. I don't know where he was. Maybe just taking a day off. I don't know. He damn sure deserves it. So yeah, we started off. We initially had Randy Orton come out and claim that he should get a title shot, and then we had he was interrupted by Kane, I believe, and then afterwards we had Roman Reigns come out and say that we don't want to see Kane versus John Cena. We've seen that match many times before, and they were all not all that good. And of course, we've seen Orton versus John Cena a million times. So Roman Reigns said, "Hey, why not give me a shot, and we'll see Roman Reigns versus John Cena." And of course, this would be a great decision for the WWE to put over Roman Reigns and Cena. But I don't know if it's his time yet. I mean, Roman Reigns, I think he can gain a lot of more momentum when he finally does win the title. But you know what? They could have pulled the trigger on Roman Reigns at SummerSlam, and it wouldn't have mattered. But it's not his time yet, I guess. So anyways, after that we had Roman Reigns versus Kane and Randy Orton in a handicap match. And yeah, just thrown together very quickly. And yeah, Triple H just put it together. And then we had later down in the show we had Big E and Kofi versus Ryback. And apparently Big E and Kofi's tag team name is called Kofi. Yeah, read that on WWE.com. So I'll see if they stick with that name. But interesting story coming out of this was that Xavier Woods came down with a white suit and glasses on, and said that we're not going to take any more of this. We're not just going to be fed whatever, I don't know. We're going to be taking it and really take charge of what's going to be happening. And I thought this is a really good segment. It kind of made me feel like Xavier Woods was actually relevant and he actually mattered for once. We haven't really seen him much. I know he's on NXT a lot, but it just made me really feel like Xavier Woods actually could matter if they continue with this stuff. And I think it's only adding to the tag team division. So I'm overall happy with this. Then we had Flo Rida, of course. He would come out, he would sing his songs. And one thing that I thought was very weird about this was that he was actually just singing over his songs, I believe. It was just like they were playing the songs in the background, he was just singing over them and casually would just stop and breathe, and then he would sing some more. It was kind of weird, like, at WrestleMania 28 he didn't have that, he was just singing, but I don't know, maybe he changed his style of performance? I'm not too sure. We also had, after this segment, we had Stephanie McMahon. Of course, earlier in the night we saw her see Brie Bella in the crowd. We had Nikki Bella versus four other divas. I believe it was Eva Marie, Cameron, Alicia Fox, and who was it? Um, Oksana? No, it wasn't Oksana. She got released. Rosa Mendez, I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I can't remember. Um, but yeah, and we saw Brie Bella in the crowd. Of course, Brie Bella called Stephanie Man a bitch twice. And it's funny because when I was watching it, they censored the first one. But then afterwards, when it was really loud and she screamed it, it wasn't censored. It's kind of funny. Oh, you censored the first one, but of course you don't censor the second one because that's one that the second one's at least not as noticeable, of course, when she's screaming it right into the microphone. But yeah, kind of weird there. And then we had Stephanie McMahon slap her, and this would lead into the angle where she got arrested and she was going to be put in jail. And I don't know. I kind of like this angle because it kind of had me on the edge of my seat. I didn't really know what was going to happen next. I thought this was a pretty cool move, and I was actually very entertained by this. We also saw Bo Dallas in action tonight. I'm pretty sure he's 16 and Bo now. He defeated LeBron James right in the middle of that ring. The newest member of the Cleveland basketball team. I'm not a big fan of basketball, so I don't know. It was what it was, and I'm glad to see Bo Dallas is still on his undefeated streak, and I really hope that they actually go somewhere with this, and they don't just end up having John Cena beat him one night on Raw, and then he doesn't really remain relevant ever again, and then he's just facing Great Khali on Superstars the next week. I really hope that they actually make him reach a really high number, like just defeating random people on Raw, and then he actually reaches 100 in Bo. And then something happens, like he faces a John Cena, and actually they can actually draw some money with this. I actually think that would be a good idea, but time will tell, and we shall see. We had also had The Miz versus Dolph Ziggler on this card, and I thought this was probably the best match of the night. It actually was the best match of the night. This was an awesome match. You never really knew when it was going to end, and when it did, you were really shocked at what happened because, I mean, Dolph Ziggler picked up the victory, of course. It was very shocking to see Dolph Ziggler finally win on Raw. I was definitely expecting The Miz to win here, especially considering he just won the Intercontinental Championship. Maybe they're leading up to SummerSlam, and they'll have The Miz versus Dolph Ziggler there, and that's why they had Dolph Ziggler go over here. I don't know. Only time will tell again. And I'm really liking the character that The Miz is portraying here. I mean, it's just top notch. It really now he's now residing in Hollywood, Florida. He has like that kind of The Rock circa 2003 kind of feel to him. He's like he's that guy who's a movie star and he comes back and he wants to protect his face, the money maker. I really am a big fan of The Miz. Like, I was a fan of The Miz before he was doing that, so I think this is just a great gimmick for him, and I really think that he can he can really become a great mid-card champion with the Intercontinental Championship, and I think that this is a great gimmick for him and a great spot in the card. Then, of course, we had what was supposed to be Chris Jericho having the highlight reel with Bray Wyatt. Apparently, during the WWE app, we had Bray Wyatt attack Chris Jericho backstage. I thought this was it was kind of weird. I mean, they really shouldn't have done this. I think they should have just waited and maybe have Chris Jericho's music playing, and then he never comes out and Bray Wyatt just attacks him. And then afterwards have Bray Wyatt come out and say the same promo. I mean, like, I know you're trying to get the WWE app over, but you shouldn't have important segments on the WWE app regardless. I mean, I remember when they were promoting Tout and they had Brock Lesnar quit, and they actually showed it through a Tout. I thought that was very stupid because some people just they pre-record Raw and then they just skip over that stuff. I think that they should just show it during the show and have it showcased as a main part of the show instead of just trying to promote something else. But yeah, that's my only complaint with the segment. Other than that, it was awesome. Bray Wyatt is unbelievably good on the mic. Yeah, I still cannot recommend, if you want to go watch Battleground, go watch Battleground and just check out the promo before the match of Bray Wyatt and Chris Jericho. That promo was epic. Honestly, one of the best promos I've ever seen, produced by WWE, and just awesome, awesome stuff. And I think this storyline is getting even better. I think it was very smart of WWE now. I see where they're going with this. They had Chris Jericho win at Battleground, and now they need Bray Wyatt to win even more now that he's lost already. I thought that was a good move by WWE. Then we had the main event of Raw. Technically, we had Antonio Cesaro versus Dean Ambrose, and this kind of ran on a little bit long. There wasn't too many standout spots except for maybe the European uppercut from Cesaro or Swiss Death when Dean Ambrose jumped out of the ring. Other than that, I don't really remember much. At the end of the match, Dean Ambrose would disqualify himself using the chairs, and he would cost himself the match. I think this is a great way to set up for SummerSlam, yeah, because he's using the chairs, he can get himself disqualified, and it's kind of like, I think they're gonna have a no holds barred match at SummerSlam, or a straight fight between him, Dean Ambrose, and Seth Rollins. So it kind of implements him, showing his hardcore side and using chairs and weapons. And I think this is very good building up to it, building up to their match eventually at SummerSlam. Also on Raw tonight, we had AJ Lee versus Paige, and going into Battleground, we didn't really know what the storyline was regarding AJ Lee and Paige's friendship or rivalry, I guess. I mean, we kind of saw them; they were kind of like best friends, like they respected each other. Well, they weren't best friends, but they had mutual respect for each other. And then going into it, there wasn't really much heat on the match, at all. So nobody really cared about it. Maybe that's one of the reasons why that match. Maybe that's one of the factors that played into that match not being the best. And now that maybe they actually have one definitive heel and one definitive face, they can actually go into SummerSlam and have a good match and kind of tell a better story. Um, I think that this will be I think that this is a pretty good way to turn Paige heel with her kind of stabbing AJ in the back. I saw this coming a while back. I think around Money in the Bank, I saw this coming. Paige would turn heel, uh, because she wasn't really all that special as a face. She wasn't really all getting over as well as I think the WWE had hoped. But that's just the way it goes. And I think with Paige backstabbing AJ, this is a great move for the overall build up of SummerSlam. Then of course we had the last segment. We had Paul Heyman introduce Plan C, but before I got to that, Triple H announced that the person he was going to place in the main event of SummerSlam was going to be Randy Orton. Of course, then we saw Roman Reigns come out and attack him, and then they would go back to the backstage area. Triple H would kind of look a little bit disappointed in the ring. Paul Heyman, of course, would come out. He would introduce Brock Lesnar, the Beast Incarnate, the man who defeated The Undertaker's undefeated streak at WrestleMania. Honestly, I knew that Brock Lesnar was going to be Plan C, of course. Pretty much everybody knew. They even had a little "We Want Lesnar" chant going on before Paul Heyman came out. But when he came out, that was just an awesome moment. And then Paul Heyman cut the promo of the year. It was one of the best promos I've ever heard. Definitely the best one of this year. I mean, there's been a lot of good promos, and maybe it is the best promo of this year, but it is definitely a great promo. Just top notch. Really had me on the edge of my seat the whole time with what Paul Heyman was saying, and really you could tell that Paul Heyman was trying his best to build up this match with the time that they're given, in between now and SummerSlam, because Brock Lesnar doesn't have that many dates to use during his contract. But yeah, just an awesome promo. I think it would have been a little bit better to have John Cena maybe receive an F5 here on Raw. Maybe we'll get that next week, or maybe we'll get that the week after. I don't know, but I know at SummerSlam, I hope to God that I hope to God that Brock Lesnar beats John Cena, because if John Cena beats Brock Lesnar, that will be the dumbest move made by the WWE ever. I mean, they imagine how good this could have been if they actually had Brock Lesnar be undefeated in WWE. He comes in, he beats John Cena, then he beats Triple H, then he beats Triple H again at WrestleMania, then he beats him again at Extreme Rules. That's 4-0. Then he goes on to SummerSlam, beats CM Punk. He goes on to Royal Rumble, he beats Big Show. Then he goes on to WrestleMania and he beats The Undertaker. That would solidify him as an undefeated monster. He would then go on to face John Cena, and it would just be awesome. You would definitely expect Brock Lesnar to win, but just imagine how much better that would have been if Brock Lesnar came in and never lost to anybody. He could have came in like a monster and just tore everybody up, and then eventually you could have him lose to a Roman Reigns at WrestleMania or a Cesaro at WrestleMania, and really put over someone into the fact that they are the next superstars in the WWE, and they are establishing themselves as the next top main eventers for the company. I think that would be a much smarter decision. Maybe going forward, they'll have him go undefeated for a long while, and then finally have him lose to a Roman Reigns, a Seth Rollins, a Cesaro, something like that, you know. But I really am enjoying what they're doing with this whole SummerSlam card so far. I'm really liking it. People that weren't on Raw tonight, though, was Sheamus wasn't on Raw. The Usos weren't on Raw. Uh, the Wyatt family didn't have a match. You know, a lot of people were missing from Raw, but you know what? We got some weeks before SummerSlam comes around, so you know they're going to be building it up even more than they have tonight on Raw. If the WWE can keep Raw this consistent and actually make it as good as it was tonight, and really keep it going as good as it was tonight, in my opinion, Raw will be a must-see every single week, because this was an excellent Raw, and I really enjoyed it. But yeah, that was my review of Raw. Thanks for watching. Please leave a like, subscribe for all my other videos, and comment down below on what you thought of Raw. Thanks for watching.